Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. Chibok community and Borno state government mark 2 years of the abduction of the schoolgirls. Members of the Bring Back Our Girls group hold commemorative sessions and rallies in Lagos and Abuja. The president calls for more patience from Chibok parents and other Nigerians over the missing schoolgirls. Lagos Governor Akinwumi Ambode announces plans to begin construction of the 4th mainland bridge. And mass protests hold in Zimbabwe as 92-year-old President Robert Mugabe says he'll run again. Just to remind you that all our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. And do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. And we encourage you to use the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. And we can share with you some of those photos that were sent in to us. Let's begin with this one from Jos Plateau State, showing a fallen tanker after an accident. Our Eyewitness reporter is imploring tanker drivers to be more careful on the road. Still from Jos in Plateau State, this time Amadou Bello Way, is this one showing an illegal refuse dump despite a sign warning against such. Our Eyewitness reporter is asking residents to desist from such acts. We also have this picture from Harley Street in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, showing a long queue for fuel. Our Eyewitness reporter says fuel scarcity is still biting hard in the state. And next is this one from Rivers State as well, showing suspected armed robbers. Our Eyewitness reporter is asking the State Police Command to continue to tackle crime. And let's end with this one from Bankole Street, Pedro Bariga in Lagos State, showing a bad road. Our Eyewitness reporter calls this an abandoned project and is asking the government to complete it. Staying with our lead story, when back here in Lagos State, Nigeria's southwest region, these are members of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign who took to the streets to commemorate the abduction of the Chibok girls. The group is asking the government to intensify actions to rescue them. The group also condemns insinuations that the girls were never abducted and suggestions that they've been used as suicide bombers. Well, the National Assembly has expressed concern over the fact that the girls are yet to regain their freedom. The upper chamber consequently resolved to summon the service chiefs and the National Security Advisor to explain efforts made so far to rescue the girls. And federal lawmakers in the lower chamber directed the Ministry of Interior to pay compensation to the families of the abducted girls.
Anniversary of the abduction of over 200 girls in the government girls secondary school, Chibok, Borno State. The National Assembly is also remembering the abducted girls.
If they were to be the daughter of Mr. President, or the daughter of the Deputy Senate President, or the daughters of governors, Mr. President, would they still be missing? That is the question. We must arise. We must stand up. The battle to return these girls back and alive is a battle of no retreat, no surrender.
Whenever the federal government is ready to work out a strategy to get these girls out, I have a very effective strategy and advice to give. There was a freelance journalist in the name of Ahmed Salkida who was offered to work out the possibility of getting these girls out of captivity. Have we explored that? No, we have not.
This is something that concerns the image of the entire country. So if you have a solution, if you are not invited by the villa or the president, then put it down in writing. We must not wait for a period when we are invited, like that journalist who is waiting to be invited to bring up a strategy.
In the lower chamber, lawmakers described the abduction of the Chibok girls and their continued captivity as a national shame.
That the time has come for us to insist, as an institution of government, that the executive set targets for the security forces, so as to ensure that we do not lose the sense of urgency that these very tragic incidents, which, as we have rightly described here, amounted to national shame, brought upon this country.
Today I speak to them, the people who abducted these girls, that no matter how noble your cause is, when the mode of making your cause known is abducting little boys who in their beds have nothing but probably their pajamas to help themselves, and little defenseless girls, then that your cause has lost, you have lost your chance to explain or rationalize your cause.
The National Assembly is asking security agencies to do everything possible to ensure that the girls are rescued. Federal lawmakers are also asking the Borno State government to rebuild Chibok Secondary School in the interest of children in the community. Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.
Well, there are also reactions away from home on this day. In South Africa, prayers and wishes for the safe return of the Chibok girls have continued ever since their disappearance. South Africans and the Nigerian community in South Africa commend the federal government's efforts, but they wish positive results would have come out sooner.
We are not appealing, we demand their return.
2 years have passed as the world stood with Nigeria to decry the abduction of the Chibok girls, who have become the poster girls for the thousands of boys and girls abducted or killed by Boko Haram.
Africa will never rest until those girls are released.
We commend the effort of the Nigerian military, but we think that more still needs to be done, especially as it regards releasing these kids.
It's unfortunate that for a while we've not been able to get concrete hold of where these girls are located.
Many victims have been rescued. A lot has been said and done. Communities are still displaced. These particular girls are yet to return.
Those who are advising these leaders are not doing a good job. Look, for example, when Obama captured when he killed Osama bin Laden, how many people, when did he ever hint at anyone that just wait, it's a matter of time, bin Laden will be dead? Buhari is a military leader. For you, a military leader coming out in the open to tell people that by December, specific deadline, that by December this group will no longer be there. If Boko Haram would do everything possible
to ensure he doesn't meet.
Exactly, and that's what they did for Jonathan.
There are, of course, wide-ranging implications of the atrocities of terrorism on communities directly affected. Dr. Uche Amadihu is an education policy expert, and she outlines some of these.
The future of Nigeria, it is those girls. The future of Nigerian northern region is to be mirrored via these kids. So we have doctors taken in there, professors taken in there, educators taken in there. Those are the future of Nigeria.
Of course, the world would have been expecting much better news about the girls by this time. The recent proof of live video of some of the abducted girls, as well as government's assurances that negotiations as well as all other efforts are ongoing for their release, give everyone watching cautious hope, perhaps the only thing to really hold on to even 2 years later. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
Our Johannesburg Bureau Chief, Betty Dibia. In the meantime, data released by the United Nations Children's Emergency Fund shows that child suicide attacks in Nigeria and neighboring countries rose sharply from 4 in 2014 to 44 in 2015. The report, entitled Beyond Chibok, shows that between January 2014 and February 2016, Cameroon recorded 21 Boko Haram-induced suicide attacks involving children, followed by Nigeria 17 and Chad 2. According to the UNICEF report, more than 75% of the children were girls. The report notes that nearly 1.3 million children have been displaced and about 1,800 schools are closed, damaged, looted, burnt down or used as shelter by displaced people. Now let's just take you back 2 years when Boko Haram gunmen laid siege on the government girls' secondary school in Chibok and abducted over 200 girls. That action sparked global outrage, with governments, human rights groups and international bodies calling for the release of the girls. Our correspondent Eni Thompson reports.
They have now become familiar faces to the world. They are Nigerians who have been in the news for 2 years now for a sad reason. It began with the breaking news on April 14, 2014 that 219 students of Chibok Girls College in Chibok local government area of Borno State who were preparing for their WAEC examination have been abducted by unknown gunmen overnight. April 15 was a gloomy day for the world, but worse for the parents who could not hold back their tears. Investigation on how over 200 girls could have been abducted began.
Some of the staff in the school that very night, they phoned their brothers, and some of the staff in the school even removed their daughters.
Mary Philemon is fortunate to have escaped, even though she was in the school.
My sister is among those kidnapped. At about 4 a.m. on that fateful day, they came and whisked her away with the others, and we were all crying.
And while the government was trying to understand how this could have happened, the Islamic sect Boko Haram released a video claiming responsibility of the abduction. Then came promises and efforts to locate and release the girls from the abductors.
The federal government remains resolute in finding and returning them to their homes where they rightly belong.
Nigerians joined this train with protest, and it became a regular that formed a non-governmental organization called Bring Back Our Girls, BBOG. With such an incident, the eyes of the world turned to Nigeria, and when it seemed like the girls were nowhere close to being found, the world took to peaceful protests, irrespective of location, skin color, accent or age, with the hashtag Bring Back Our Girls. Individuals like the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, and wife of the United States President, Michelle Obama, also included. The issue also brought the teenager Pakistani activist for female education, Malala Yousafzai, to meet with the then President, Goodluck Jonathan.
And the President fortunately promised me that he will do something for these girls.
There were times of hope within these 2 years of the sad Chibok story. One was in November 2014 when the federal government told the world that it had reached a ceasefire agreement with Boko Haram and the deal included the release of the girls. Another was in February 2016 when the Director of Public Relations of the Nigerian Air Force announced on Channels Television the possibility of locating the girls.
The Nigerian Air Force has been able to identify possible location where those girls may be.
Not long after this interview, the Air Force reversed this claim, a stance supported by former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
If anybody tells you they will bring back the Chibok girls, is telling you a lie.
The administration of President Muhammadu Buhari inherited this burden and has had to meet with the family of the kidnapped girls with more orders for further investigation. The world is still waiting and hoping, a hope filled even more with pictures such as the one released by CNN on April 13 on the eve of the second anniversary of the missing girls as proof of life 2 years after the incident. Ini Thompson reporting for Channels Television News.
A day of sober reflection on the second anniversary of the missing Chibok schoolgirls. And when the news at 10 returns, bill on CCT passes second reading at the Senate. Do join us again.